file to be known as a blue ribbon school. So pre-COVID, post-COVID. Anybody else? I'm surprised Chrissy Vest and all the counseling people aren't excited to talk about upcoming scheduling and the celebration of all the students being registered. Not nearly as exciting as being fourth in the state. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Well, if it hits you, we need good news. The other day I texted Miss Alger after some unfortunate steps of demise at about 6 o'clock in the morning, and I reminded her two things. One, a particular student graduated grad, and I didn't think that was going to happen. I didn't think it, like when I saw the student up there and she said, "I'm finished," I think my heart fell to my feet. Like I thought we were going to be talking about a student who was never going to finish high school and was going to walk out the door. Yes. Oh, yes. I just reminded her, just remember this person graduated. No. FP. Sounds like I'm cussing, but just FP. Mm-hmm. And a kid who was literally late every single day was on time the day before. Just remember, this person graduated high school and that kid was on time. Lo and behold, he was as late as they come today, but nonetheless, he was on time the other day. And I'm talking 5 days a week. Like he comes, we're going to start locker bank duties. Please, I need your help. Please, please, please. Always be at locker bank duty. It is an amazing thing that we keep a lot of things taken care of. Security, what you guys report to us, it is amazing what somebody might notice sitting there at the table that we would never notice walking through. Security wouldn't notice. Miss Alger always has the cameras up, but she's not really watching. But she does try to look up, obviously. But that perspective of patterns, etc., please be at those duties. The little stampers, please, please, please. I think I need to go turn them into Mr. King. Don't leave them on the table. Don't leave the old passes on the table, please. They like to take those. So then I collect them, and then I forget to give them to Mr. King, and then Mr. King has no stampers, so you can see an unfortunate cycle. So wherever they go to, locker bank duties, if you'll please just keep the integrity and fidelity of those to the end, despite the lack of fun sometimes that they may be. Bell to bell, I just added this one this afternoon. I just happened to look out the window, and there were two lovely young ladies leaving at like 3:17. I said, "Where are you going?" She said, "I got to be at work at 4:30. I guess in Bluefield. I don't know. And I said, "No, you come back in here." And she said, "Okay." And she came in very nicely. They got to stay till 3:20. Miss Lockhart is not in here, but Miss Lockhart or Miss Paulson would be the only person. Otherwise would give a pass if it didn't come from administration. So the child was absolutely phenomenally kind and patient, but she needed an hour and 13 minutes to get to work. Mr. Ratcliffe, do you want me to just throw you on in here in this order? Do you want to go ahead and talk about RU Impact? Okay.
So I don't know if any of you guys have a technical background, IT, programming, or anything like that. Radford University's Impact Lab, they have some great opportunities right now under a grant for furthering education, an 18-semester hours, certification in cybersecurity. They also have some micro-credentials and stuff like that. It's free to years until they run out of money. So if you have any questions about that or something you might be interested in, please feel free to reach out to me. Additionally, I know my program, I don't have all the kids in the world yet that are technically inclined, but through RU's Impact Lab and in Virginia Tech, I've got some paid internships for students this summer, 16, 17, and 18. If they can drive, they're eligible. They've got quite a few slots. So even if you have children that aren't in my program, they still have a great opportunity to do an internship with the Corporate Research Center of Virginia Tech this summer. And like I said, if you've got any questions, feel free to shoot me an email.
Do you know anything to speak to the city thing at Virginia Tech with Mr. Arnold?
I do.
Okay. I noticed something you said there at the Corporate Research Center. I didn't know if those were interrelated. The impact thing, people here, it blows my mind every time I think about it. I won't try to call anybody out or make eye contact, who have multiple endorsements. And this is just another opportunity. Who did you say? Was it Jeremiah, Lincoln?
Jeremiah and Lincoln both took certificate. I just talked to Jeremiah about it. He's in the middle of a master's program, and he said it was extremely helpful. If you're a programmer or anything about IT, the only downfall of this whole certificate is it's SQL intent. It's a little bit of a pain, but it's a great program. And you're
At least he's honest.
here. It's a rolling class up. You can class up at any time. You've got 18, you've got 12 months to finish the 18th semester.
Thank you. So until we met Mr. Ratcliffe, all of this information from Radford University, I think it came in and it flew right out of Pulaski County High School. But he has definitely been the conduit. Thank you. So they keep reaching out, wanting us to sell it. I can't speak to it. I am zero IT. Actually, I'm married to IT. That is as much as I've got. So I can help you find help. So thank you, Mr. Ratcliffe. And if Mr. Arnold comes in, we'll talk about CINI. Does anybody know what that is? I think it's a program that connects Virginia Tech resources to Pulaski County Public Schools and other schools. And I think Mr. Arnold, a lot of CTE folks probably know this pattern better, goes and works on campus to make all of those connections once a week. So let's move to summer school. Did y'all look at those dates? Woo! If you've been here for a decade, 2 or 3, you have seen the ebbs and flows of summer school. You have seen it go from 4 weeks to 3 weeks to 2 weeks to 4 weeks to 8 days in 2 weeks. It has been all over the place. Long story short, what I can gather is they get reimbursed downtown for whatever they spend on summer school. I say that like the kids. I don't know who they is. The state came in, looked at how we've done it over the past few years. They've revamped it. So when anything revamps at that level, then we revamp at this level. So we're going to try a little something different. Y'all might know that middle school principal down there, Ms. Blevins. She is pulling the 5th grade summer school students to the middle school. I'm going to go ahead and get started. We're going to pull the 8th grade middle school students to the high school. Go ahead and get started. In the years past, we've taken the middle school discipline. It would be an interesting task to see if y'all could name who you think we have done this with, but we take the top frequent flyers discipline at the middle school, or those that by formula theirs were greater than the typical infraction for discipline, and we meet with those students over the summer and their families. We go ahead and lay out the expectations, give them a pattern of what you need to go do in case you find yourself vaping every day and you can't break the cycle. It's whatever it is, vandalizing or cutting up in class. That's been really beneficial. Well, now we're going to do it, but we're going to do it in the form of summer school. So we're going to have the students at summer school, be able to meet with them, call their parents in. So we're looking for 9th grade teachers, specifically. 9th grade teachers who would want to teach those rising 9th graders, so you can go ahead and establish the expectations of Pulaski County High School and go ahead and look and see. I'm thinking about biology, environmental science, world history. What do you want them to come in and learn? Just some of the routines and procedures of a classroom. We all heard about the current junior class for years. I mean, they told us about them for years and years. And everybody, there's always some, well, there's something real about that junior class. They got here as 9th grade, and we have, I'm afraid to say this out loud. I'm not going to say this out loud. I'm going to say it differently. We had more fights at the start of their 9th grade year than anybody could ever fathom. I don't know if y'all remember that. When I saw myself on Snapchat, we have hit a new low because I'm running at the bus circle to catch someone. Then we were able to have conversations. That junior class sat in here today, short, where's Miss Dishon? Miss Dishon served a real purpose. She got right in between my 2 talkers, and she never left. And she kept them at bay for Tara Grant and Rob Graham showed up to that junior class meeting today. Didn't expect that. So we shared all that information. Thank you, Ms. Dishon, for that. That junior class was great. So those meetings, the more conversation we can have with the kids about behavior, it really is a benefit. I would love to call some of those kids' names out right now, but obviously I would not do that. So if you're interested in summer school, you guys saw one letter. I think some of you reached out to Dr. Webb. They always say, well, the high school's different. The middle school and elementary, they're looking at students who have regressed or need to learn back skills to move on to the next grade level. We're looking at kids who need to come in and recoup credit so they can graduate with their cohort year. So it is a very different animal. At the same time, we're bringing kids in to salvage what we can and move on to the next school year. So right now they're saying everything is all 5 weeks. If for any reason, for budgetary purposes, any week has to be removed, it would be the last week. Yes, you're correct. Did you hear what she said? There was preference given to people who could take the whole time, and that's just consistency, obviously, and less people changing their minds if they don't want to work a part of summer school. Anybody have any questions about any of that thus far? Trying to be very mindful of time. All right, spring break in the building. I haven't seen an email, but I also haven't seen my inbox today, so please don't judge. If Mr. Graham has already sent it out, he did let us know that the campus will be closed during spring break. So if for any reason you need to be here during spring break, if you'll just let us know. If you forgot your Chromebook and you'd like to come by and get it, we're going to work with you. If you'll just reach out, text me, let me know, and we'll make any of that happen. Weapons detection. It really hasn't been that bad, has it? Tomorrow might be a new day. If anybody is interested, it's really not a bad gig. Where's Miss Gill? When did she come on? A couple weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? She does, it's really quite funny, because she comes in, and just at right before the 7:30 hall comes in the door, and then at 7:45, she walks back out, she goes and gets her kids, gets them to school, and comes back to school. Proximity helps. You live very close to the high school. Mr. Gravely is the first person, if you ever want to see a moment of peace, walk into the Commons anytime between 7 and 7:21. After that, it goes pretty chaotic. 7 to 7:21, and he's literally sitting in a stance where I think he is trying to channel all the good, calm vibes that were left in the building. And he takes them all because there are none left. But it's a fun opportunity, guys. If you ever are willing, we will take your help. We are out there from 7:30 until 8:45 every single day. But the cool thing is we see every single kid. Now I know who carries what water bottle. I know what kid drops their Chromebook at least 3 to 4 days a week. We know what kids come in together if they're missing one. Like if I saw Carrie but didn't see Felicia, I'd wonder where Felicia is. It is pretty cool. So we encourage you, even if you just want to come be a part of it one day and give somebody the day off, they'll take it for sure. But be a part of it. It is a really neat thing. It has been a great opportunity. Headache, but a great opportunity. Prom, where are our party planners extraordinaire? I don't know if you guys want to talk anything about prom. The guest forms have gone out. The drama ensues.
Okay, so last week we sent out supervisions. If you haven't signed up yet, please do so because we're going through just making sure that you either sign up for homecoming, or prom. If you haven't signed up yet, then we'll be reaching out within the next week, probably, or so. Ticket sales do start this week, so students may ask you. It's School Cash Online, $30, includes prom and after prom. We'll do wristbands similar to what we did last year, which hopefully we can talk again at the next faculty meeting with the more in depth. But we're going to do the same as last year, where we give you a packet with a list of student names with that many wristbands. We'll give out to those students. They'll sign off for them and then return back to us. We'll go over that whole process. All night, we always do that. The coffee is food.
A lot of entertainment. It really is fun. And it used to be till 5. Yeah, now it's till 3. Yes. It's amazing how much difference that makes. Okay, yes, so thank you very much. I'm going to move to night school. We have a slide up here. So I had hoped that we could have Miss Harriman and Miss Thompson here. You guys know Kim Thompson, formerly known as Kim Schaffner. She used to be a sped teacher here. She and Miss Harriman run night school in the evenings, but you can guess where they are as we speak. So we got some information from them. things got a little wonky with the scheduling, and we're going to conquer it, but nonetheless, if you have a student at night school, if they show up and they haven't anything to do, it is really hard to keep a non-participatory student involved for 4 hours without any participatory driven things. So please, 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 whatever you can send. I think they wanted to come up and talk, and somebody else in this group mentioned this recently, I just cannot remember who. If departments could get together, it's going to hit me, I'm thinking math. Departments could get together and come up with a baseline of this is what you will work on for algebra, geometry, environmental science, World 1, etc. The more specific, though, you get, the more tough it becomes to have a generic assignment, especially when some of those students have been administratively placed in night school from central office for weeks and months on end. So if you do find out you have a student in night school, please go in and make sure their assignments are open. And I will let them know. I will gladly help. I do not know how to go in and open individual assignments for an individual teacher, but if you get an email from them, if you'll please just open those assignments to help those kids. Night school has been a game changer for some of our kids. I mean, I can think of some specific that you'd probably be like, oh, I forgot, I haven't seen them in a while. Right, they've been attending night school and flourishing. Just keep in mind anything that we can do to help those folks there. But it is 4 to 8 at the middle school. We have some things going on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We have some folks running something here. But if you've got a kid sitting on truancy or absences, if they attend 3 total hours, whether it be night school or tutoring, that reverses an entire day of attendance. And that helps them, but it also helps us as a school tremendously. Anything else up there that... Miss Harriman and Miss Thompson, those are your 2 key people. They literally know everything about night school.
And if you have somebody and want to hand me assignments, I've had teachers do that when I worked at high school. So I'll transport materials as well.
Thank you. Did you guys hear that? If you have anything that needs to go to night school, who else does night school on occasion? So we have several folks, so reach out to them if you need to get something to a student or you're just not sure.
I sent things through to Thompson. Mr. Hill's giving this out.
Oh, okay.
So I've had to send it through them. I work through her.
Okay. Miss Thompson and Miss Harriman, I don't know if you know them. I don't think either of them ever sleep. They literally will do everything and anything, will they not? So if you want somebody to creatively think, I've got this kid, they're doing this, how do I make this happen? They'll figure it out. Yes, ma'am. It should be the administrator who placed them there. Mm-hmm. It would be from either the administrator, the school counselor. Now, if we get into administratively placed through the central office, they have a different method by which we're trying to figure out that and get it all straightened out. So there have been some moments where we're like, wait a second, I don't know that folks know all those pieces to that. So if you wonder, if you have a kid, if you have a kid you haven't seen either, ask. Like there's something going on. We met and looked through some kids today, and some of them are a little panicky. We looked at a senior who hasn't been here in, I think, 9 days. Like a senior. They're sitting that close to graduation. Hasn't been here in a while. No. That's when the game gets really fun. It's kind of like, do we have a key for that? It's going back to, well, they're not marked absent, so that means they're here, except they're not here, but somebody has put it in truancies, which not everybody has access to. Did I say that about correctly? So, I mean, if you're wondering, there's a good reason why you're wondering. So ask one of us. Let's look it up. Let's get that chain going and figuring out where the letter is. If somebody were to go to a disciplinary hearing, and we've got different folks in central office trying to figure out the best way, and we might be a little bit more spread out. So sometimes something will happen there, and then the letter gets emailed, but it only gets emailed to a few people. So we're trying to figure out, we need that to land in Power School because we can all find that in Power School and get it to whomever. But sometimes digging in truancies comes up, truants, if you will.
They add something like, when we do attendance on our roster, where they have ACT for kids that are on an activity or unverified, could they add something like NS?
I would love that, yes. And I mean, we can ask again. Like, remember V for virtual, that's gone. It's virtually there. You don't see it, but they're not attending because they're virtual. Like, that's how complicated. And I think some of it is restrictions from the state, like what you can actually put in Power School for the report that our friend Debbie Compton would send out. Where did we go? Door checks in the morning. I don't know how clear that was in my email because when I type, I'm trying to make it short and sweet because I know I didn't mean for it to go out so early this morning. I apologize. I meant to delete Christy Dishon's meeting, and then next thing I know, out went an email at 5:15 or something like that. So my apologies. But when in the mornings, the night before, we may have had a party here, such as a rec wrestling event. And those folks aren't going to look at our school building in the same regard we are. And I'm not talking about vandalism. That'd be far easier, to be honest. But if Jason Grubb needs to hold the door for Felicia Cozart and Carrie Peterson's coming right behind them, he propped the door, she came in through the door, she came in because she was rushing to get her kid. And those folks who are using our building, they aren't checking to make sure that the door got unpropped. So, for instance, the other day, some of you may have been up there when we found this, there we are, weapons detection, all of our resources at the door. Meanwhile, we had a door propped open until 9:05 that morning when, once that was all done, the officers go and check all those doors. So if you can, it's a divide and conquer. I'd love to get to every single door, but I'd never make it back to the door for weapons detection. So when you come in through your areas, if you don't care, just to check over, we're trying to work with the other agencies who use our facilities to make sure that they know that. They've been great. That doesn't always mean no matter what they say to somebody, that somebody's going to do the right thing. So that's just checking those doors. Incident versus admin emails is another one I wanted to put in the morning email, but I think it would be an epistle. Incident is if you have somebody who's missing or they refuse to give you their phone. So incident is you have an incident with a phone or a missing kid. The admin, we changed it. Now I got to remember it's admin PCHS. So if that's something you want to report to us, just send it to admin. If you're worried one of us won't get it, we have a solution. Miss Alger is on that. At once upon a time, I think our favorite AD was also on there, and he said, get me off of that listserv. That is insane. Make that stop. So we're on there plus Miss Alger. So if she knows everybody's out somewhere, she's going to find somebody if you need to refer something of danger. That incident one goes out to about 12 to 15 people. So if you'll just be mindful of that. Some of that information we don't want going out to all those people. That's to check and see if we can find a missing student. So reunification. I went to a training Monday. I talked to a lady at church yesterday morning who was at that training. She works in Radford City. And she said, you know, I had no idea what I was going to when it said reunification training. Well, I think reunification, and I'm just going to touch on this a little bit because this will be more in the summer, is something that crosses my mind, and luckily it goes right back out. But if we ever have to evacuate this whole school and get everybody on buses at one time, because that's going to be easy, and we have to take them to a reunification site, whether that be the middle school, the community college, or the fairgrounds. If we have to go there, we have to have a system by which to get every kid back to the rightful parent, if you will. And I think that makes me, like, I love a good day of chaos, but that is frightening. You know, you've already endured something that made you empty out your entire building, and now we got to be responsible to give the kids back. But then I got to see it in person. I got to watch it Monday. I did a training with the I Love You Guys Foundation. Are you familiar? All right, don't hold me to it. I got the gist of the story, but essentially this family had twins, a boy and a girl, in a high school somewhere up north, I believe. There was a shooting. The shooter dismissed all of the males from the classroom, including the teacher, kept all of the girls. Some horrific things happened, and then not all of those girls went back home to their families. This one parent had messaged his daughter when he thought maybe she was in there. He'd heard from his son, and he said, "Where are you?" Or no, "Are you okay?" or something. And she just messaged back, "I love you guys." And they messaged back, "Where are you?" And unfortunately, they never got to see their daughter again after that. However, they took that "I love you guys" and they have pushed it out as an amazing foundation. Like, I was dreading it. I didn't want to be gone from school all day on a Monday. I'm going to be honest. It gives me chills just now to think about it. Those presenters, they were from New York, so they said 3 times as much as I could in 1 minute. And I held on to every word. It was amazing. And they taught us how to run a reunification. And then they put us, I had to be a kid, I had to be a parent, and then I forget what I was, but I was in charge of a table of people, and we were checking all these people, and it was legit. It was an amazing training. But now that I've seen it, I feel like, oh, we can do that, but it's only in here. So I have asked Central Office Administration to please allow all 11 and 12 month, maybe this summer, because the moment something like that happens, it could be Buddy Ratcliffe and Carmen Haas in charge of reunification. You don't know who's going to be there, who's going to be available, who's going to be physically able after something, if we ever have to do that, to take care of things. So we all need to see it through that lens. So I asked if all those folks, if we could do one of those run-throughs so that we could do it sometime in the fall so you guys can see that. The peace it gave me to think, 100% we can do that. If we can graduate 2020 graduates on the stadium track with ferns and all. And pouring down rain and lightning delays, for heaven's sake. And VHSL does not govern graduation, but it did that day. If we can do that, we can run a reunification. So I'm looking forward to you guys getting to see that, because the peace that I got from thinking, oh yeah, we got that. And it's not going to be easy, and I can only imagine how stressful it is. But hopefully we will all get to participate in something like that very soon. So Mr. Arnold, I'm almost done. I want to tell them about excellence from this morning, and then he's going to talk about Cindy. So the junior class meeting today. I really thought we were just meeting with the juniors, and we're going to tell them about this really cool opportunity. Ms. Thompson was going to throw in a little bit, maybe Mr. Sklar, and I knew Mr. Arnold was going to be here. And then everybody else from central office starts rolling in, and I'm thinking, I really wish I'd prepared more for this presentation to the juniors. So we have a really cool program. Not going to go through all this with you, but I'll let you kind of peruse. Essentially, Glass County Public Schools, wait for it, is collaborating with Radford City Public Schools. It's a little uncomfortable. It's a little uncomfortable, but we're partnering with them to go into this program called Excellence. They've named it, we've named it Bridge to Excellence. We got a bridge that separates us from, Radford High School, but we're going to embrace them. You have 2 semesters. This one's going to be manufacturing. This one's going to be health and medical sciences. This one's going to have 20 kids, 10 Pulaski, 10 Radford, 10 Pulaski, 10 Radford. Application process. If you pretend you're in the fall, you're in the manufacturing cohort, 10 of us, every Friday during the first semester, you don't come to school except you get on a bus and you go tour local manufacturing places. I don't even know the right noun for that. Locations. And then they train you on certain skills, such as how to participate in an interview, or how to wear your PPE correctly for whatever it is you're doing, how to make use of a hard hat and what not to go near if you're wearing a hard hat or depending on that. Different certifications. They come out of it, they graduate. These kids have some things in hand that they can take and say when they're applying for jobs, I deserve this job at this money. Hopefully they'll get some jobs while they're out there because I have participated in this program. We were supposed to start 26, 27. Mr. Arnold and I had the exact same face the other day when we go to that meeting. Mr. Graham starts it and he says, I know we talked about 2026, but let's do 2025 in the fall. And we said, okay. So we met really quickly with the juniors today. We gave this presentation to them. told them about it. So if you have any students interested, this is for the kid who may not be interested in a college or university after high school, may not be going into the military, may not have a clue what they want to do, but for some reason they're saying, get me the heck out of Pulaski, not knowing what Pulaski has to offer to them. They would have an opportunity to make some friends, participate with Radford City Schools, and earn some serious credentials. And it's a great opportunity. It is an amazing opportunity. This one is just for rising seniors. Health and medical, second semester. Rising sophomores. So students ahead of the game to get into programs such as Ms. Walsh's program or Tara Bird's program or Mr. Siciliano's program, EMT. So it's a pretty neat thing. I think they'll bring all the kids in who get into it. They give them something that kind of makes it a big to-do. They might all be gifted very expensive steel toe boots. They wear those out for every tour. In the health and medical one, I think they said the kids would wear scrubs, makes it kind of official. You know, they get that moment to really be proud of themselves and proud of the opportunities that they're getting. And these are just some things that I stole over the weekend. This group goes through 9 sessions. The first session was the introduction and induction. They went out on tours. The last one was a graduation. And for those of you who have worked here for a year or 30, when we went to that last meeting, there were Volvo people there. I know Volvo is like that thing I pass every day, but I don't really think about it because they've never really been very tied to the school system. They were there and they said, yes, we will participate. So they're going to take our kids, this group, for a half a day and show them what Volvo is and try to sell them jobs in manufacturing. And that's a group, I think this was with Phil. So if any kids ask about it, get them to their school counselor or to one of us. I would probably recommend Ms. Thompson. She probably knows the most about it, and we know who those contacts we could get out to if you know a kid. I stopped a kid today and said, because I feel like he's been here for about 7 or 8 years, but he's in his 3rd. And I said, are you a junior? And he said, yes. And I said, did you pay attention today? He said, yeah, but I really didn't know what it was. Well, I mean, heck, none of us really know what it is, but I mean, it had his name written all over the screen. So just look for those kids that you want to encourage to express interest. Anybody have any questions about Bridge to Excellence? Bless your hearts. Thank you, because I don't have any answers. But Mr. Arnold?
I can promise you when he said it was going to be next year, I wasn't thinking what Ms. Bowling said. It was a little more colorful. Buddy, I'm going to disappoint you for the second time in 5 minutes. So, for those of you who are new, I'm Ken Arnold. I used to be an assistant principal here. I'm director of CTE. I'm newish. I can't say that much longer. One of the responsibilities that I have, and Megan had before me, is I'm a liaison to Virginia Tech's CINE. What's CINE? And I have to look it up because I've talked about 6 different things today. It's the Center for Educational Networks and Impact. Anybody ever heard of it? Probably not. Okay, so it is located in the Moss Arts Building. Everybody know what it is? Anybody know what? Okay. I don't need that.
No, he said you have to.
Who?
It's not for this. It's for tomorrow night's school board meeting.
Okay. So here's it's gonna be really quick, and I promise. I'm sorry, it's a little clunky. Anything that goes on in a Pulaski County public school through Virginia Tech, I should know about. Not student teaching or anything like that, but a program where some department from Virginia Tech comes into a Pulaski County public school, I should know about it. Or if you want something or you see something on the news, you say, how do we get that here? You contact me. CINE is the place where all these academics at Tech go to say, how do we make this work in a public school? And then I'm the liaison for our county. There's a lot of things that go on in the elementary schools with Virginia Tech, not so much as we get older in the middle and high school. Anything you want to do, or if anybody contacts you from Virginia Tech and says, hey, I would like to come into your classroom, you tell her, and then you tell me, because it has to go through Senate. Because they got to, anything that goes on in relation between the two groups, I need to know about it, okay? So if you've ever thought, oh man, I wonder if Tech's got this, email me. I can find out for you. We meet every Thursday. All right? Really good to see you guys. I know that was sort of vague and quick, but I wanted to make sure I said that before somebody inadvertently does something to get somebody in trouble, because you wouldn't do that on purpose, but I need to know about it. And then I got to run it through Cine and Youth Protection Services at Tech. Okay? Good to see you guys.
All right, so a couple more things. We have SOL testing coming up soon. When I say SOL testing, I actually mean SOL testing training coming up soon, and then we'll SOL test. You know, we have virtual days. You know, the calendar gets wild after spring break. I almost don't want to curse the spring break. I'm not talking about it yet, so we'll keep that very low key. But there are going to be lots of things when we come back from spring break that are going to kind of hit the ground running, and we might be running before we are completely awake and know that that's happening. But one of those really is scheduling. So I say it every year, I'll repeat the same thing. Some schools have a master schedule, they take the kids' preferences, they put them in the master schedule. I can't say it's my credit, I might be Chrissy Best's credit, I have no clue, but Pulaski County High School takes the kids' preferences and creates a master schedule based on that. So every year, the number of sections that we teach changes. As you all know, sometimes we have 4 sections. What that means is if you're normally teaching 3 and you get a 4th, you get extra pay for that. There's a whole lot of pressure right now to not do that. So we're getting ready to meet with all the department chairs, go through. We had the starting list today and went through the number of sections for EPF, the number of kids who have registered, how many teachers can teach EPF, and do we have enough room within 3 sections per teacher per semester to teach all the sections of EPF. All of those little idiosyncrasies coming into play. So if you've added something new to your licensure, if you're looking to add something new to your licensure, if you're seeking to be able to teach dual enrollments, any of those things, please email us and let us know. Just send it to the admin. The schedules will happen soon. Anybody else got anything else? Thank you for your time. We haven't done this in a long time, but we try to leave the Mondays open. Yes, sir.
I got 2 things I thought.
Yes, sir.
First, on Thursday here is I don't know if the project's put on a great show 6:30. Band, choir, drama, art, everything's
ABCD, art, band, choir.
And the second thing, on Wednesday, but I mean, you do on Wednesday, there's a community band at the university on campus band. We have roughly 20 of our students in that campus band. On their own time, good undergrad or before the campus band. I play in it, you can see me start on the fresh floor. I'm conducting AVs, so, but it's pretty cool to come out and kids like come out and see me. That's at the Covington Center.
Oh, I mean, I might have stretched the lottery, but it was the lottery. So I was sitting at my computer one night, and unfortunately, not many money that. I was sitting at my computer one night working with Mr. Green sent an email, and he said, first come, first served. Nice and easy that way. And so I have to really read it. And, I mean, I still want to, but then I thought I should, so I read it a little bit, and I'm like, this sounds free. Probably Jimmy Graham would be really nice if I would do this. So I replied back, PCHS will take it. Can you please don't let me have committed us to something. And Cassie Puckett, y'all remember Cassie, she was right behind me. And so we got it, and this woman called me 100 times a day until I could tell her how many people worked here and where we would like to have lunch from. And I was like, oh, I guess you're gonna pay, we're gonna get it, blah, blah. Oh no, we'll bring it to you. We literally won the lottery. Those were the nicest people. They were amazing. Yeah, so we won the lottery. It was just in the shape of garlic knots. It was good. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed that.
I forgot all about that. Good we have. Yes, ma'am. All right, thank you all. Have a great afternoon.